If you're looking for a sugar-free alternative to energy drinks, use code BigFry for 10% off your entire order at Gamersupps. The link is down in the description below. If there is one word to describe Marathon in its current state, it would be... All right, this is the third time that I have recorded this video. I want to talk to you guys about my first experiences with Marathon. I made a video last week talking about your guys' reception to the game. The internet has been shitting on this game since its initial reveal a couple weeks back. It's an extraction shooter. It has a weird art style. It looks generic. It looks soulless. I wanted to wait until I actually got my hands on it to make a final call. Obviously, this is an alpha. It is a work in progress. The game is set to release in September, so I will say, like, the whole alpha defense, they only got a few months to go until it's, you know, out in your hands. I kind of have a feeling it might be delayed, but we're going to talk about it all here. The word I would use to describe this game, and this is why I've been recording this over and over, because I know this is going to piss people off. The word I would use to describe this game is okay. Everything about this game screams okay. And after putting about an hour and a half in, doing a bunch of quests, unlocking different factions, getting into some PvP engagements, some PvE engagements, everything from the gunplay to the sound design to the looting to the actual like out of game stuff where you have factions and quests and, you know, setting up your loadout and your runner. Everything about this game screams very mediocre and just kind of like middle of the road. Okay, there's nothing that I think this game excels at that you can't get in other places with, in my opinion, much better experiences. And I say all that to say that there are some things about what Bungie has created here that I do think excel, but it has nothing to do with the actual game itself. And that's the world, the lore, the trailers, the stylistic choices of what is actually happening outside of the game itself. Because when you watch the trailers and it's this unique, very artistic design, when you get in, it just kind of, I don't know, just kind of all fades away into a very, I don't want to use the word soulless, but I think it's the closest term to it. It's a very like soulless and not very intense game feel, and it just kind of all feels a little bit mediocre. I'm recording this video and I'm considering just uninstalling the alpha. I don't want to play anymore. Nothing about this moved the needle for me. When I was watching the trailers, watching the game, they had my attention with the art style, with the artistic choices, but obviously I needed to see more about the game itself, and it told me everything that I needed to know. I don't think this game is going to do well with a $40 price tag. I think the fact that they lifted the NDA on the alpha because they want people to see that this game is worth $40, kudos to you for doing that. But I think at least for me, I'm going to put this video out, and I think there's going to be other creators that feel the same way. It's not that the game is bad. I have covered some of the worst fucking games ever created on this channel over the years. And Marathon, I don't think deserves to be slammed. It's not a scam. It's not a trash piece of shit software where like you're bugging out, glitching through wall. Like it's none of that. But what it does do well in is very, very few and far. Like I can't name you one thing in this game that I think if you want that experience, you go to Marathon for. A lot of people were comparing this game to The Cycle. And if you guys have never played The Cycle was a special game at times. From the initial launch to when they rebooted it to The Cycle Frontier, and they made it more of like a hardcore, not hardcore, but a more hardcore extraction shooter. Marathon feels like they looked at games like The Cycle, really enjoyed it, but then wanted to put their own coat of paint on it. And I just don't think it's that good. Let's talk about the gunplay. I've used a couple different weapons here. You can throw different scopes and different attachments on, and the gunplay is very run-of-the-mill. It's not bad. It's tight. Like, it works and it functions, and where you shoot, the bullets do go, and that feels good. Plenty of engagements we've got in where I'm shooting at somebody. The time to kill is a little long, obviously, but I'm shooting at guys. I'm hitting them. You can see the hit markers. The registration works. But afterwards, and especially, fighting other players, it's kind of just like, okay, yeah, we killed them. Let's move on. Like, there was no holy shit moments. There was no crazy holy shit feel. It felt very generic. And I hate using the word generic now because I feel like people use that to describe anything that they actually just hate. I don't hate Marathon. I just think it does nothing extraordinarily well. If you guys are here in the video and you're watching the gameplay in the background, the one thing that I think I'm struggling to give them any credit here, but the one thing that I guess I can say they did well is like when you open the map, you look at it, but it is not the entire picture because there's areas like this that lead to these crazy underground caverns. And I think that like layered design, I think that will lead to a lot of replayability on these maps, taking different routes, taking different paths. It could lead to future gunfights in different areas, like when you go down here. I think that would be cool. It's not the first game to do it, and a lot of games also do this. But again, I have to give them credit somewhere. I have to give them fucking credit somewhere. The looting mechanics, you walk up, you hit E, hold E on a container. It shows the things, you search through it. It functions just like every other extraction shooter we've ever played. There's quite a few different items. One thing I did notice in looting containers, you tend to find the same kind of weapons, especially when you're fighting the robots, the PvE AI that kind of drop in and try to, they're essentially just more annoyances than anything, but you loot them, you get the same overrun ARs, the same ammo. Not a lot of loot variety in that sense, but I'm sure once you get into the more, secret areas and you get keys to unlock different areas, that's where you get the high tier loot. But yeah, the whole feeling just, I don't know, like coming out of it, I feel like that just solidified that I wouldn't pay money for it. And the crazy thing is I think even if that game released for free, I don't think I would play it. Not that it's bad, it's just not good. And it's a tough thing to kind of explain to people. You'd have to feel it for yourself. Another thing is the way they're handling this alpha with the marathon codes is a fucking tragedy. There's so many people trying to figure out, like they go to the site, they sign up, they fill out the survey, and then they wait, and like you don't know if you're going to get a key or not. So I know there's a lot of people that want to try this game out, probably because it's Bungie and they obviously just have a history in the FPS space. I think this game is going to struggle at launch to hit the targets that Sony would want them to hit. But I do think because of Bungie's track record, this game is going to find an audience of people who will enjoy the world lore, the artistic choices, and the actual world building that they're trying to do in Tau Ceti 4. I think there's some cool elements there, but at the end of the day, for me, I don't really play extraction shooters solely for the story. I want good gameplay. I want intense moments. I want great immersive environments and visuals. I want a great soundscape to where you can hear people moving through hallways and making noise. And I like that slower pace, like take your time, breathe. The audio has to be right. And I just don't think anything that Marathon does, they do extremely well. And so at the end of the day, I'm sitting here like, I want to make a video, but I don't know how to express and showcase mediocrity like that. If you play the game, expect it's going to be stable. There's not going to be a lot of bugs. I didn't notice a single ounce of like level desync or hit reg issues. The game as a piece of software functions extraordinarily well compared to games that we have played in the past. For an alpha test, very impressive. I don't know how many people are in this alpha, no idea, but it was very stable. But at the end of the day, the game feel and coming out of that experience, I'm left feeling nothing. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen at launch. I'm curious to see if they do another test during the summer that lets more people come in. I feel like the fact that they lifted the NDA on this test tells me that they're not happy with the reception of that reveal, and they want more people to just get hands-on and eyes on to see the game for themselves. I don't know if that was the best call. Granted, at the end of the day, for us, it was a great call because we can actually see with our own eyes, play and feel it for ourselves and know that this game is most likely not what we're, at least for me, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but it is not what I'm looking for when it comes to an extraction shooter, but realistically, just a multiplayer experience in general. I would have loved if we would have gotten a co-op experience set in the world of Tau Ceti with the lore, the world building, the storytelling that they're doing outside of the game. Bring that into the game. I don't know. For an extraction shooter, it feels like less than. a lot of other products that are out right now that are A, cheaper, sometimes free, and B, been out longer. And honestly, I'm just going to go say C, a lot of these teams that are making these extraction shooters have not as many resources as Bungie. The team size isn't as big as Bungie, and they're able to produce products that, in my opinion, are greater than in every single aspect, from gunplay to sound to world building to immersion factor to everything. Marathon falls short on absolutely everything. There's nothing I can point to in this game where I can go, they did it better than insert other product. And that's my honest opinions. If you've managed to play the alpha and get in, let me know your thoughts down below. If you've watched some gameplay on Twitch, I want to know what you guys think. This was a controversial reveal leading up to this alpha. The internet has been shitting on Marathon and Bungie for going the route that they did with this game. I didn't want to get involved with the meh discussions and Bungie, this game's mediocre. I didn't want to do that until I actually got my hands on it. Now that I do, I definitely feel like a lot of the, I'm not going to say the hate, but a lot of the like soulless generic criticisms that they're receiving is pretty warranted. And now for sure, I know that I won't be buying this game at launch. My name is Big Fry. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed it. Pick up a tub of GG using my link down below. Use code BigFry for 10% off your order. It's a nice sugar-free alternative to sodas and energy drinks. And subscribe for more FPS content just like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.